That was some good ASMR on that one.
Picking up Hartman was big.
Go ahead and flex, Kobe.
Just flip a coin and hire one of them.
Did you get the sword of John Adams?
We did get the sword of John Adams, yeah. At like 11 or midnight, we've decided it's never been a bad idea to have an extra pizza in the refrigerator.
But I don't want us to have that bourbon flavor for some of the other earlier beers. So let's start with the problem.
You don't want me to be drunk on camera, is that what This is the Varsity Brews Podcast, as Evan would like to call it, After Hours.
After hours.
After hours.
Can you announce it in your After Hours voice?
Welcome to the Varsity Brews Podcast.
You could be the next Delilah.
The next Delilah.
Evan.
Cheers, buddies.
Cheers, guys.
Hey, cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Don't spill it on the equipment.
Hold on.
Cheers. Always share your brews. Our podcast
Always
brought to you by Westwind Brewery. Of course, Vahid Sadrzadeh, Evan Sharpley, Aaron West here with you with another edition, an outside edition, the latest we've ever recorded a podcast.
That's right.
New records.
How was your weekend,
Just
guys?
doing stuff.
Man, I'll tell you what, my blood pressure was up a little bit this weekend because there were some fun games to watch, you know? I mean, I kind of I was like...
I don't know what fun game you're talking about on Thursday. I didn't see any fun games.
How about those Lions?
Buddy.
That's never happened in my life. That hasn't happened.
Rolling.
That hasn't happened since. Who was the running back, my friend?
Barry Sanders.
Yep, and Scott Mitchell was the quarterback.
Jeez.
I think it was, 1994?
94?
Yeah,
they were still
94.
playing in the Pontiac Dome or whatever.
Pontiac Silverdome.
Pontiac Silverdome.
Yeah, that's where the state championship game in Michigan was played there. Yeah.
You played there?
I didn't. I went and saw two, though, when I was a young buck.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marshall High School went to the state championship game in 96 and won it, and then back in 97 and lost.
How was that place, by the way?
Not
like
great.
A dump?
It wasn't great. It wasn't a great area either.
No, it wasn't.
No, was it?
No.
That's why it ended up being like an expo hall after it was all said and done.
It wasn't great. But yeah, with those Lions, they're looking pretty
Hey,
good.
they are. He's got them clicking, baby. If you're not a believer, you better.
In a division, though, I mean, they could clean that division up.
And then he had the gall to
do?
send me a meme that was like, "We own the Packers."
Brutal.
I'm not pleased.
No.
I'm not pleased.
How was your weekend, buddy?
No, it was good. We traveled. We went to see Coldplay. This
Looked
is not
awesome.
sponsored by. Yeah, it was like a rave, dude.
Yeah.
It was lights everywhere.
Wow.
Confetti.
They're on the list. I'd like to go see them.
It's fun. Yeah. I mean, it was fun. So we
And
went
you're
to
at the Rose Bowl.
The Rose Bowl. Can you believe the granddaddy of them all?
Yeah.
I have never been to a Rose Bowl game. Wisconsin obviously has been to the Rose Bowl in my years that I've been alive.
Yep.
Have never had the opportunity to go, and I'm like,
I
you know
played
what?
there a year after they remodeled.
You did?
Yeah.
When was
UCLA. Oh. Yeah.
How was it?
I just remember Golden Tate getting a concussion, and they took his helmet from
Really?
him. Yeah, he tried to go back on the field.
Oh, did it really well?
Yeah.
It's a pretty special place to play.
It's a cool place. Really cool.
1922. So Coldplay lit it up there on Saturday, and then here, funny story. So obviously we're going to talk about Notre Dame football. I was glued on the edge of my seat. I was looking like a rube, waiting for the concert to start, and I'm on YouTube TV, and I'm like shouting, and people are like, "What the hell is this guy doing?"
But he's in his own little world.
I was getting text updates because I had no service. And
Where were you?
I was in Toronto. We were both jet setting.
Yeah, we were.
Kenny Tarmac.
You guys were
Kenny and Caleb Tarmac.
And so I got
Caleb Tarmac.
Caleb with a K.
Yeah, that's right.
I've never seen two dudes travel through more airports than you guys.
Yeah, I got back to the hotel at halftime.
You did.
Yeah, I missed the first half.
First half was pretty good, right? They were up
It was good.
10-0. Was it 10-0 at halftime?
Yeah.
Either 10 or 30. Did they kick a? Yeah, 10. No, they kicked a
10.
field goal right
Yeah.
before half.
Okay, and then obviously we know what happens. Sam Hartman leads the comeback, 4th and 16, which no Notre Dame fan is ever going to forget anytime soon, if they keep winning especially. I don't know, guys. What do you think about it? What do you make of Notre Dame's comeback?
Well, it was. I mean, Duke definitely. I was real surprised the way Duke managed the end of that game. Right. I mean, they had momentum on their side completely. Mm-hmm. The last drive, right, they're picking up some tough third downs, and then right before they pooch punt, I didn't really like the play calls that they had. You almost thought they were maybe it was 4-down territory if they got into like a 4th and 2.
Yeah.
But just, I don't know. I just felt like it was mismanaged, like they were trying to not lose.
Like Notre Dame the week before?
Correct. And then, with time on the clock when Notre Dame got the ball back, as it was transpiring, you could kind of feel that it was going to happen. At least that was my feel when I was watching from the hotel room, was like, I think Notre Dame's going to go down here and score.
95-yard drive, by the way.
And it was. And Duke had opportunities. Probably could have sacked Hartman, I don't know, 3 or 4 times.
Maybe every play.
I mean, even the play in the end zone, if the defender doesn't go inside, if he stays high, Hartman doesn't reverse out and, escape a little bit and be able to, get out of the pocket. And then on the 4th and 16, which was really strange, and even the commentators too, which I sometimes mute the game. I like to just watch. Or
apparently I didn't listen to the game, but apparently the commentators were very Duke favored.
Well, that's what Notre Dame fans say all the time.
They do.
That's just how it is. I'm sorry.
I was just watching. I was not listening.
They were at Duke, though.
They were at Duke. But Duke was dialing up pressures until 4th and 16, and then they played prevent. How do you you're in prevent, you're playing at the sticks. I just don't understand how that happens. Now to Hartman's credit, when he escaped out of the pocket, he set up like he was going to throw,
right,
and paused for a half second, which then all of the defensive backs and linebackers, they have to respect that for that moment, and it cleared up enough space where, as the camera pans back, you're like, dude's got it. Because
he had room.
I thought maybe there was going to be a collision right at the line, but, I mean, he was
about a yard
2 or 3 past. 2 or 3 yards past. And then, let's go back to the drive prior when Notre Dame had the football. I still don't understand why Estime wasn't in the game until 3rd down.
This is becoming not an issue, but it's becoming a topic.
We talk about it every week. I mean, Audric Estime not running the football. I don't understand it, Evan. You watch that game again, and they really didn't use him. I mean, he's
viewed by many as the best back in football.
I think he finished because his last touch was a touchdown.
He finished with
17 carries, 18 carries. He was at 16, I think, going into the last. So he
definitely wasn't 20.
And I'm saying 20 plus. It should be the baseline is 20 plus.
I was texting friends who cover Notre Dame, and I'm like, if he doesn't get 30, they're not going to win this game. And lo and behold, I mean, what are you doing on offense? I mean, you've got 3 or 4 receivers out, right? So they had to lean on Mitchell Evans, who had another career night.
Yeah, he did.
And
we probably should talk about him more.
We should. I mean, he made some hell of good catches.
130 yards?
Yeah, 130 yards.
Big catch on the. I mean, and Herb Street called it too. He goes, they've been looking at tight end. Here's the opportunity. Great route, great throw. Hartman stands in the pocket, takes a hit, and throws a great ball. I mean, they had some guys step up on that last drive that they really, really needed.
Flores
too, 100%. And it was a grinded out win, and I think that was kind of your thought process.
That's what I said from last week.
I said, that was how it was.
Did I not call that?
You did, and you called the low scoring.
I called low scoring.
And
3 points. Had tough to give me come back from this big loss.
And I'll own it. I obviously picked Duke to win.
Yep.
I think Notre Dame did a great job early on because it was, are they able to set the tone? And did they really? But they went down and scored first drive. And so when you're able to do that, I mean, that kind of, for the whole game then, because Duke really was not in great rhythm on offense.
No.
Really until midway through the third, where, you had Leonard start to use his feet a little bit more. They had some designed runs because he played a great second half, but really was minimized in the first. So, I think Notre Dame had a good game plan going in defensively to kind of limit that. But once Duke got the momentum, you had a completely different football game. And we saw the leadership. We saw the maturity from Sam Hartman then late in the game where didn't look rattled. Although Duke
been there a few times.
Although, again, and I said Duke mismanaged. They also missed some opportunities. There should have been an interception on the third down play.
Yes, there should have. To end the game.
The game would have been over.
Game over.
But that's why he plays defensive back and not receiver. I mean,
this was the exact mirror opposite
of last week.
For
sure.
The exact mirror opposite. Now, do you think that this could be a launching pad? Something that we haven't, we kind of touched on it, is the offensive output that Notre Dame is putting forth here. They score 40-plus points in every game leading up to the Ohio State game. Mm-hmm. And then you're putting up 17 and 17.
Well, you're playing good defense.
You're playing good defenses.
And so I think that remains to be seen. And they have 3 more in a row, primetime games, playing against some good competition.
Yeah.
So,
And Clemson's going to be a prime time.
yeah.
I mean, you're looking at prime time except for Notre Dame Stadium the rest of the way. I mean, except USC.
Yeah, but they still, how many night games do they still have? Because next week's night game.
probably.
They have Louisville coming up this week, 7:30.
Night game, yeah.
And then they have USC, which is going to be on NBC. And then you have, after that, they have a bye.
I believe so.
Then they have Pitt at home, which is an afternoon game. Then they go on the road to Clemson, which you know is going to be a night game, probably on ABC.
This is why I stopped doing the post-game radio show.
My buddy missed his flight.
Oh, my God.
Oh, like,
I'm not staying up till 1. Who's listening to this right now? Is somebody awake? I don't know.
So this type of win, though, you've been around a lot of good football programs. You've been, around a lot of football. Can this launch Notre Dame?
Well, and I talked about it last week. This was a big week. You have an emotional loss. You know, I knew it was going to be tough. It was going to be a grind it out. I wasn't sure how they were going to respond. Obviously, went down to the wire. So, in short, yes. But, man, there's a lot of schedule left still to play.
USC's looking like a beast on offense. But they don't have defense.
They don't have defense.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't have defense.
So we'll probably pick it like 1st to 50 wins when we get to that week, and then they'll score.
I think if Notre Dame
14
can score,
points.
I think if Notre Dame can score 40 points, because I think they're the best defense that USC has faced all season.
Fair. Okay.
So you think USC gets the 40 against Notre Dame?
I don't think so.
I don't know. But
mid-20s.
here's the thing: is Notre Dame's offense better than Colorado's? And let's say they had Travis Hunter.
Oh man!
I don't. Oh, that's a bad.
Jeez.
Hey, because Colorado's offense. Those boys
Shadur's, I mean, he's putting up numbers.
But they wouldn't have to score as much as Colorado. You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. Correct.
So like, it could be a. Now let's go back here.
If it gets into the 40s, Notre Dame loses.
I agree. Do you think that this defense is comparable to last year's defense, Notre Dame? Do you think this is a better defensive squad than last year's? Or do you think with edge rushers and everything like that, do you think their team was better their unit was better last year?
I think their defensive backs are better.
Okay.
I think they're more consistent. My concern, especially late in the game,
is quarterback contain
and tackling.
Yeah, tackling was it didn't look good at the end of that one.
Yeah.
And I hate to bring up Maris Leofau, but I mean there were a couple.
Yeah.
I mean in the whole,
and I love his passion. I love Maris Leofau, but man, you can't miss tackles.
Yeah,
you can't miss tackles.
And especially when you play a team like USC, I mean, if you get a guy in space and you miss a tackle, it could be a touchdown.
I agree with you. We're not making our picks for USC yet, but I think if they hold them under 40 points,
yeah, I'd say that's fair.
I think they win the game.
That's fair.
You know, but you think USC should and can play for national championship?
Caleb Williams, no,
you don't.
No,
I don't think so either. Their defense, it was
This
not
is a Lincoln
good.
Riley team, though. I mean,
Listen,
Lincoln Riley doesn't have defense. This is Lincoln Riley. He has great offensive teams.
I really, it's such a weird year in college football.
It is because Georgia's not playing great.
It really
Georgia barely squeaked by.
And I, we've talked about this a few times. Just the parity there is right now. The SEC and the Big Ten could be, I think, more in the SEC a bloodbath.
Yep.
Where there's
100%.
Getting through the SEC schedule unscathed is going to be really tough.
Any team, any week could upset another
for
team.
sure.
And
now we're seeing in the Big Ten. In our group text, we were talking. Penn State looks really good.
Hey, Penn State looks
Michigan
good.
looks
Both
really
offense
good.
and defensively.
I mean,
man, Ohio State's got a tough
that's
schedule.
right, for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody's talking such a big game about Ohio State. I mean, they have a tough schedule.
And then you throw in Washington and Oregon in the mix too.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they play
Penix
each other.
don't
they play each other this week? Washington and Oregon?
Is it this week?
Is it? Look it up. Okay.
College football is a blessing right now.
Yes.
It is an absolute gift. And the NFL is getting good, although I could go without seeing Blake Lively and,
So much pop culture going on right now. Ratings through the roof. Travis Kelce has the highest number of jerseys bought.
sold.
I mean, it's,
Next week on Oregon.
All right, this was a good first segment. Breaking down the Notre Dame offense and possibly how they're going to fare the rest of the season. You've got some things you want to share on the menu.
We got some good news and things that are happening,
Things are always happening here at
always
Westwind.
good, too.
All right, we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little Michigan Go Blue football.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know we can't go a
J.J.
segment
McCarthy's
without...
girlfriend down in the third quarter.
What is up with that, dude? What?
She's like the new Swiftie.
He's like, I'm out.
I'm out.
Jeez. All right, we're going to be right back here on the Varsity Brews Podcast, brought to you by Westwind Brewery. Aaron West joins us from Westwind Brewery, of course, the big sponsor of our podcast here on the Varsity Brews Podcast. Aaron, always share your brews.
Always share your brews. 911 Plum Street, Elkhart, Indiana, 46514.
What's your bread and butter?
Yeah, we specialize mainly in our New England IPAs, double dry hopped. We're IPA guys, so if you want to come have some, we call it Northern Indiana Fire. You'll see it on our posts a lot. Considered a top brewery in the area. Just been blessed to be able to make good beer.
You got multiple award winners.
Multiple award winners. Faithfully, it's a first place award-winning and People's Choice Award beer. We've got Sacrifice, that was third place People's Choice award-winning beer. And then we've got Better Days, our raspberry wheat. Look at it this way, Vahid. We're open now Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, 3 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 8, and Sundays, 12 to 6. So we've extended our hours, too. This can be our hours for a while as we come through the holidays. But you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads. But yeah,
Aaron,
we're trying.
thanks so much, man.
Cheers.
The Varsity Brews Podcast brought to you by Westwind Brewery. Well, if you're wondering why we're sitting outside and the garage doors are up, this is the way the Lord intended it to be.
We're closed, though.
Tonight. You're closed.
Yeah, we're closed, for the record.
After.
Brought to you by Patrick Industries.
Jeez.
We're bringing that up again.
So good.
Cheers, buddy.
That was so good.
Cheers. This edition of the Varsity Brews Podcast always is brought to you by Westwind Brewery. What are you guys drinking right now?
Butchers and Beasts.
Speaking of the devil.
And I'm drinking Butchers.
I think I had 7. I think I had 7 yesterday.
Speaking of Butchers and Beasts.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
While I was watching the game.
Go Blue. How about Michigan scoring, I don't know, the first, 28 points of the game?
Yeah, 20-0.
They went over the 30 points.
Routing Nebraska and starting the season, with their fourth straight opponent at 7 points or lower for a game?
Defense is quietly playing really well.
Defense,
Corum quietly scoring touchdowns.
You look at how many. Listen, I'm telling you, you watch every week. We're going to see Corum. That guy's scoring 1 or 2 touchdowns every week. I mean, he's going to be a Heisman candidate. You've got J.J. McCarthy playing at the top of his game, not pulling off a Swiftie, and his girlfriend comes down and hugs him afterwards.
I've got some stuff. Okay, let's go.
But he's just tied Tom Brady. There's things that are happening for most touchdowns. I think he's like 10th now, so he's climbing. But hey, listen, those are fun statistics when your program's cooking and nobody's talking about Michigan, right? Everybody's talking about Oregon.
Zero people are talking about Michigan.
Turn on ESPN.
Well, they also haven't played anybody yet.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. That is true.
I'm just checking to see if we're recording, gentlemen. Are we recording? You see a red dot on the top right there? Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. That is fair. They haven't really been challenged. I mean, you got Minnesota this weekend. That you should win that game.
Row the boat.
Sky-U-Ma.
I guess you could call this a favorable schedule out of the gate. But, as we come into October, November time, you've got to go to Penn State.
Yep.
You got to play there.
Yep.
Obviously, there's going to be some tough opponents. I think Maryland is another team that nobody's talked about in the Big Ten that is very, very tough.
Are they at Maryland?
I believe it's at Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I think there's still some really, really big games. I think I'm going to go on the record and say that I think the Michigan-Penn State game is going to be a bigger game than the Ohio State game against Michigan at the Big House, only for the fact that, I mean, you're going to have 2 undefeated teams. If you watch the Penn State team, both offensively and defensively on the side of the football, they're playing very, very good football right now. You listen.
They were slow out of the gate, though, against Northwestern, weren't they?
Yeah, a little bit slow, but the team's getting dialed in. But you listen to ESPN analysts and everybody talking about it. I think Penn State's going to be a very, very, very difficult game for Michigan because it's probably going to be the real first big challenge. I mean, you got Indiana after Minnesota next week. They just fired their offensive coordinator, I believe. So there's some things happening in the Big Ten that I think are still kind of favoring Michigan right now. And, hey, I'm okay with being the under the radar, staying silent, continue to win, let Corum pound the football. Wish Notre Dame would let, Audric Estime do that. Don't know why, but, and continue to let them open up the run against McCarthy. And obviously there's good things happening in Michigan right now with Harbaugh back.
Just beware of Purdue at some point this year because that always happens.
It is. And
they're playing better football right now.
So
Purdue's at Michigan, I think, this year.
They play Iowa, Ohio State, Nebraska, Michigan, and then Minnesota. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, every year Purdue has one big game and then loses to someone they should.
Hopefully it's not at the Big House.
That's a rough schedule, though. That's a rough schedule. Michigan is playing well. Again, but I think they're like Notre Dame right now. They haven't really played anybody, and I'm not saying Nebraska isn't anybody.
Yeah, Herb Street's got them as the 5th best team in the country.
Who are your 4 teams right now? Right now, if the season ended?
Man, I'll tell you what. I don't think Georgia's as good as they were last year. That's what I'll say. Okay, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they're still number 1. I think Michigan's definitely a solid 2. I think Oregon might be a 3, and I've got Penn State maybe at a 4 position. I think is my top 4 teams.
Vahid, where are you sitting right now?
Roll the dice with any Pac-12 team, honestly. And SEC team, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like
LSU's not in there anymore.
I like US. Are you asking right now?
I just said right now.
Yeah, who are your top 4?
What you've seen so far.
Number 1, Georgia, because unless you knock them off, they're still number 1 in my eyes.
Yeah.
They haven't lost in like 3 years. So,
then
I'm going to roll with. I like Michigan too. I think Michigan's off to a good start. I think their defense is playing well. But they're playing Michigan football. They got to stick to Michigan football. They get into shootout with TCU again. I that's not their type of football. Then I have USC. I think USC is the top 4 team.
Really?
And then maybe another Pac-12 team. Maybe Oregon in the mix. I'm not sold on Texas A&M. I mean, we'll see what they're made of.
Texas?
Yeah, what about Texas?
Oh, yeah,
Texas is in my top 4.
Texas.
Yeah,
I will put Texas at 4.
Yeah.
I will put Alabama. No, they're not as good as they usually are. So is that a quality win?
They're still missing a quarterback.
Yeah.
But Saban's going to get it right.
But you think they're going to go into Texas A&M and win this weekend?
Texas?
No.
Or Alabama?
Yeah. Alabama goes into Texas A&M.
Alabama doesn't look good to me.
They don't look good to you?
No.
I don't have a great feeling about that. I'm gonna go with Bama.
Where does Notre Dame sit in your scope of college football rankings?
They're 10 in the
power rankings.
I'd say
the power rankings.
I think that's accurate.
I think because
you think 10 is accurate?
I think around there.
Like, who is the best team in the country right now? If you were to pick a best team in the country right now,
okay,
Texas,
probably.
Texas is playing pretty good football.
Michigan,
I'd pick Texas.
I'm Texas or Michigan.
I'd say Texas.
Yeah. You think Texas could beat USC?
Yes.
Yes.
Because of the defense.
And because if Quinn Ewers is on, he'll match Caleb Williams.
Yeah. All right.
They've got 2 really good quarterbacks.
And I think if Michigan played Georgia right now, that Michigan would win that football
God, this
game.
is why we need a 12 or 16 team playoff. And it's coming. It's coming next year, 12 teams.
That'll be nuts.
That's awesome.
It's going to be good.
That'll be nuts.
It's awesome.
I love it.
And this is the only time you're going to hear me say this. Congratulations to the Detroit Lions. Hey, whatever.
I'm living in my
pay your dues when it
I'm
when
drinking
it
blue Kool-Aid, maize Kool-Aid.
You should. I mean, you've waited 30 years.
I remember watching
I'm from Michigan and wasn't even a Lions fan because what was the point of turning the game on?
Yeah. Lovable losers, man.
You were born in the 80s, though, so
86.
Yeah, so you Barry Sanders. But Barry retired in what, 95?
He retired so young. Yeah. But you turn those highlights on, dude, that guy was
he was a man beast.
He was a dude.
Yeah.
All right. His college highlights too, I
got my Barry poster back in the back of the brewery. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh, you
got a Barry poster?
Yeah, you have to read it.
Not gonna have a Jordan Love poster anytime soon back there.
Wayne Fonts.
Gosh, we've had some bad coaches.
Who else have they had?
I don't know, everybody.
Yeah, offensive coordinator from the Patriots.
Gary Eberflus from Chicago. They're going to get him next?
Yeah, didn't Gary Moeller coach too?
Yeah, Moeller.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, he was a Michigan coach.
Yeah, he was a Michigan coach and then coached the Lions. He was horrible. Yeah,
It was just like a carousel of coaches.
it's brutal. It's been brutal.
I kind of like the new coach. He's fiery.
Dude, Campbell's great, man.
Campbell's got to go.
Yeah, he's a coach's coach, our player's coach that understands, that college level, understands the, just getting people to click. I mean, 2 seasons in and everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid. Don't tell Vahid, but I already ordered him a drink the Kool-Aid Detroit, maybe coaster cup.
Just get an Aiden Hutchinson jersey.
Yeah, maybe that's even better.
All right, let's just on the spot here play a little game of true and false before we get off of football here. Okay? All right. So true or false? Zach Wilson is still a terrible quarterback.
True.
Mom banger?
That's true too.
He's been off the cuff lately, dude.
Both are true.
This is a family show, man.
Can we edit that?
No, this is like last week.
True.
True or false? The Detroit Lions are going to win the NFC North.
I'm true. Yeah, listen, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid and then some.
True or false? Bill Belichick retires after the season.
That's a great one.
Oh,
you want me to go first?
He's not going to want to. True.
I think true too. I mean, they benched yesterday, right?
I mean,
he said he didn't bench him. He was asked about it like 10 times, and he was like, no. It was just time for him to come out of the game. When
Mac Jones comes out of the game and you go sit on the pine and you're holding the Palm Pilot like this and you're like, that's getting benched. I'm going to tell you what, Bill Belichick, he's
got away with words, doesn't he?
He does.
Or lack of words.
He looked distraught is what I would say. If you watch him, he just doesn't look like he's got the same controls. He's lost.
He gets all the blame, though. I mean, he built the roster.
Yep.
He's the GM, right? He gets all the blame for what's happened.
That's what you do when you're the head coach. You take it, right? You don't have Tom Brady. You don't have one of the best quarterbacks. You don't have the GOAT.
So was it Tom Brady?
I remember. All those conversations when Brady left was who was it going to be, and then Tom goes and wins the Super Bowl,
right?
Hey, and what have the Patriots done since he left?
Nada.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. True or false? The Buffalo Bills finally win a Super Bowl this year.
Holy smokes. I'm going to say false. As good as Buffalo played yesterday, I don't think they win at all. That's what I think. I don't know. I think there's a few other teams that are danger, and it was good to see the Bills, though, put on a nice show. I thought they looked fantastic. Good. And Evan's jersey was probably the magical moment that allowed
Zubas on yesterday, too? Or?
They were dirty. I didn't wear them.
True or false?
False.
Oh, see?
Hey. Final question. Well, no, we got 2 more questions. True or false? What's his name? McCarthy's girlfriend's going to become a problem.
False. Yeah. Dude, that guy's
come on. How does Harbaugh let that happen, though?
Listen, he's a 5-star quarterback. Who knows who his NIL contract is? He's probably with Bush Baked Beans or something. I don't know. But did you see that?
At least McCarthy's dad's not grabbing her ass like last year.
Jeez.
We've lost all control of the family show.
After hours.
I think that stuff's just going to happen. I mean, you know what? Kids do stuff when they're dating and stuff like that. You know, we just had a patron in here. He said his kid dyed all his hair in different colors and made it a soccer ball. I'm like, why would Chris do that? And he's like one of our captains. He's like, he's dating somebody. I go, that's all you needed to say. Guys do stuff when you're dating.
I don't know what
McCarthy's laser focused, man. Onward to the national championship.
Final question, true or false, the Irish make the playoffs?
False.
Oh.
Nope.
All right, so you got to help me out. Refresh my memory. Is it 6 this year?
No, it's 4.
It's 4 still?
They're not doing it.
I'm with Evan. I think false, man. I just don't see the Irish. I live in the neighborhood. My wife loves the Irish.
To Notre Dame fans right now.
I am. It's good for
he
ratings.
lives in the neighborhood.
Hey, listen.
So I waved to Marcus Freeman
I
earlier
waved to
this
Marcus
week.
Freeman.
Kissing babies,
I was mowing my in-laws' lawn and gave Marcus the old thumbs up. Said, "Good job, buddy." And, you know,
You say, hey,
he
I got
waved
some
back.
bad news for you. You're not making the Final Four this year?
I just don't see it happening.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was our first ever game of True False. I liked it. All right, we're going to be back. We're going to do something special here. We're actually going to go drink beer from the...
Yeah, first time ever. I got some 17. Jeez, oh, Pete. 17.
Is that Spanish?
Yeah.
Do you know what 17 is in Spanish? What is it?
17.
We're going to be right back. Work on our Spanish.
Get my Google Translate app out here.
The Varsity Brews Podcast is off the rail after hours.
We are going to go back and do our first ever Varsity Brews pour off a tank. So you're going to try a beer. You know, we've been pouring them out of the tap. Sometimes as a brewer, we like to taste it off the actual tank. So it's carbon up right now. This is number 17. Was originally going to be called 17, but we figured after about 4 of those, you'd never be able to pronounce it. So we're going to try some number 17. Ready for a beer off the tank, buddy?
Does it taste this like...
It's different. Number 17 is one of our top-selling New England IPAs, double dry hop.
I don't think I've ever tried.
I don't know if you yet. Listen, we sell
And I feel like I've tried pretty much all
we
your
sell
beers.
out of it very, very fast, is what I can tell you. So, woo! Don't get on the camera. We don't want Vahid to get mad at us.
No, just kidding.
I'm like, what?
This is basically what's happening right now. Is this is all getting carved up, and so to get to a beer state, this bad boy's about ready to go. So this judges the pressure that's on there. All right, about 18 psi. We're gonna let this go for a second. This will die down. Let some air out just for the ambiance. Bring the pressure down just a little bit. Oh yeah. You're gonna notice, see how that's gonna have
A lot of head.
It is, but
It's
so this is the
gonna
first
change, right?
Yeah, so it's because of the tank's under pressure. Oh yeah, look at this. So this is what they call lacing. We're basically carving up the beer right now, so you'll notice that the head's a little bit bigger, but as it dwindles down.
natural?
Yeah, it is. So this is actually all beer right here. It's just carbonated. So if we let this sit here for another 5 minutes, that would actually all eventually turn into beer. Yeah, but what I want you to try is, most people don't get to try this form, because I actually want you to drink it with this big head, because it actually makes the beer taste very, very different. So this is number 17. Cheers. Feel that freaking nice creaminess on the front of that beer. Damn. Oh, and isn't that cool?
Wow.
And you don't
It's like
get
a marshmallow.
Milk
It's like
mustache.
marshmallow. Yeah. Isn't that great? Oh yeah, this number 17 is absolutely fire.
So you can technically serve beer.
Yeah.
With a lot of froth. I mean, with a lot
Yeah,
of...
there actually are people that actually put large amounts of head on it. Yeah, and it changes. But did you notice? Evan talked about it. It's almost like a little like a creaminess, like a marshmallowy top. Yeah, it changes the characteristics of the beer. The only reason that it's this way is because it's actually pressurized at a little bit higher PSI than what we serve it at. Got it. We're carving it up 15 to 18 PSI. We're serving it at about 10.
Oh, yeah, so that's cool.
But yeah, oh yeah. You let it sit here another 5 minutes, but yeah, just taste it. Like tons of new flavors, especially when it's got that nice big creamy head on it.
Stupid question. When you're trying different beers, how do you clear your palate? Coffee?
Crackers, like palate crackers, no different than wine.
Ah, all right.
Get a little milk mustache here.
Yeah, good frothy.
It's good.
All right, buddy, thanks.
There you go.
That was a very, very cool segment. Aaron, thanks so much.
Yeah.
And thank you for sponsoring this podcast, man.
Absolutely, man. Having a blast.
That had to have been like beer 201.
Oh, yeah. That's
Or
like...
maybe higher than that.
That was higher than that. That was like in the
lab.
lab, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
was in the lab.
That's post-grad. Starting, that's like PhD
Yeah.
level a little bit.
That
I'm ordering it on my own. I mean,
that
that's
was-
got to count for something, guys. Before we get to our 2-minute drill and our picks for this week, we got to play something that I think you'll find very, very funny.
Gosh. This is unbelievable.
Super entertaining.
And here we go.
Makes you feel important, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. False alarm.
Hello, Mr. Sharpley. This is the National Former NCAA Football Quarterbacks of America Foundation. We put out an annual calendar featuring various former players in partnership with Speedo and Hank. All proceeds from calendar sales go to support the Miss America organization and all its wonderful affiliates. We are thrilled to notify you that you have been nominated for the 2024 December cover model position in honor of your very own Forever Miss Indiana.
What an
Jackie.
honor.
Please reach out to us at 679-350-1256 to schedule your See Me photo shoot featuring the Speedo and boxer briefs of your choice. You will receive the pair you select.
Is this what the NIL has come to?
I guess.
Post-graduation? Dude,
Hold on. What if they actually call the number back?
I don't know. Call it.
Hey,
Let's
you should
it.
call him back and say, hi, I'm Evan Sharpley on Late Night with Sharpley.
Is that a real number?
I don't know. Should we call it?
Yeah, why not?
What happens if you call spam back? I've never tried
I don't know. Try it. Let's do it.
All I know is
funny.
I got like 6 missed calls from a no caller ID.
Oh, my gosh.
And I don't answer those. Like, usually I don't even answer a number I don't know.
Block.
And then I get a voicemail. And that's
Dude,
it.
that one's hilarious.
Hi, this is Evan Sharpley. I'm waiting for my steamy photo shoot.
Mr. December.
Every time
Evan, that was hilarious, buddy.
Every time I see Haynes now, I'm just going to start laughing. They want
Greatest thing is he
December
used the word
2020
steamy.
I know.
December 2024, man.
Yeah,
wow.
Put 2 minutes on the clock.
Jeez.
It's
Let's do
time
it.
to make our picks.
Please.
The 2-minute drill. All right, does Colorado bounce back this week? Yes or no?
Who they got?
Silence.
Who's Colorado playing?
Check it out on your Google.
Yeah, right. I probably should look that up.
I mean, yes.
I think Colorado's offense is fantastic.
I think they're going
Arizona State
I
is-
think
Arizona
they're
State.
going to keep scoring points.
yeah.
And
I think he comes back this week, by the way.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll pick the Buffs.
All right.
I'm with you. I think that Colorado, if you look at their game plan, is that they want to run with Sanders, throw with Sanders, whatever Sanders wants to do, and they score. Obviously, can score a lot of points. Showed that against USC. I'm with the Buffs. I think that they come back and show some resiliency, coming off a tough loss. You know,
They do have a tough schedule. I think they're going to be in games all year, though.
I agree. I don't think Arizona State is a good football team. So, I mean, not that I've watched a lot of Arizona State Sun Devil football, but I think Colorado gets an easy victory after a couple of weeks of struggle here. They probably score 35 points.
They just keep putting up points.
Yep. All right, Michigan, who you got this week?
Michigan's at Minnesota.
Yep.
I'm going Big Blue, and I'm going to stay. I don't think we're going to score as many points when we go to Minnesota. We don't tend to
Stick
play
that,
as
stick to that 30
Yeah,
points.
I'm gonna go. Michigan's gonna win this game by at least 30, though. Continue to just be silent. Blake Corum's gonna run the football.
Will
2 touchdowns.
J.J. McCarthy get a kiss in the third quarter?
Hell yeah! I think they put up 40 again. I think the Sky
Okay.
Yuma boat is
All right.
hit something on the bottom.
right.
I think it's sinking.
40-10. 47.
All right. Fair.
46.
Keep moving up those power rankings on ESPN.
Their defense is playing well.
They are. Yeah, Michigan's defense is lights up.
All right.
38-6.
For the first time this year, we're going to pick a Wisconsin football game.
All right.
Well, it's about time.
Well, hey, they beat Purdue, then they had bye, and now they're back against
So they
Rutgers.
beat by. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, they're undefeated in 2
Rutgers.
weeks. You pick Rutgers?
No, I pick Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. Wisconsin. I think they're going to get better as the season goes along here. But they're missing their number one running back, so that doesn't help. Wisconsin at home against Rutgers.
Wisconsin. 100%.
All right, and that brings us to Notre Dame versus at Louisville Saturday night.
Undefeated
Louisville's
Louisville.
undefeated.
Yeah, 5-0.
I got some thoughts.
You want to start?
I'll start. Louisville's not a very good football team.
No, I think Notre Dame's going to win.
I think they're going to score.
Well, that was an easy segment.
I think they're going to score at least 40 points, get back in the 40-point category. Jake the Snake Plummer's son plays
Are you
quarterback.
kidding? Oh,
and
wow.
this is his 4th school in 4 years.
That's impressive.
God,
What is your? He played
wait,
for Purdue.
say that again. How many schools in how many years?
So this is his 4th school in 4 years. He's played Notre Dame 3 times in his career. He was playing for Purdue, then he went to Cal, and then I can't remember who else he played for.
Is there I'm going to ask this just naively because I don't know.
It wasn't Marshall, was it?
Is there a transfer portal max that you can transfer to amount of schools?
I don't think so.
So
buddy.
COVID threw
I know you got
a
the
wrench
COVID
in
year.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is his 3rd team. I'm sorry. So
3rd team. But
Purdue,
still,
then
that's-
Cal,
that's still-
then Louisville.
That's a lot of teams. For a career?
crazy.
For a career. And oh, by the way, last year Sam Hartman played Louisville. He had 3 interceptions, 271 in the air, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and 8 sacks.
Wow.
That offensive line wasn't very good at Wake
Hand the
Forest.
football off.
They were saving Audric for this game.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's your playbook to victory.
Please. 25 carries for Audric Estimate, please.
You pick Notre Dame in this one?
I'm going to take Notre Dame in this one, but I'm not convinced they're going to put 40 on them. I think it's going to be closer. I think it's going to be within 2 touchdowns. I think, again, Irish are still on the road, still recovering from everything that's going on. Okay, they got a nice squeak-out win at Duke. You're obviously it's another night game at Louisville. I want to see them run the football with Audric Estimate because I think you've got a outstanding top running back that you're not using, and I don't know. I don't get it. I've said like a week or so ago he got injured. I asked what you guys were like, oh, he's not injured. I'm like, maybe some teams do that. They hide the injury by not saying he's got an injury, but they don't use him. And then we're like, why didn't we do it? And then he scores a running touchdown.
He doesn't look injured.
He doesn't look injured, right? The guy's got arms that's 4 times the size of mine, but
as
I'm
my
going with the
legs.
Irish by 10.
This is a message from the Varsity Brews Podcast. Play Audric Estimate.
Hand him
Big Drick?
Yes. Gosh. That shirt was awesome.
That was awesome. We'll put it up online if anybody wants to see it. They can order that, or
You can order the one. You can order the first one. You can't order
this
the
is
one with.
quickly becoming not a.
You can't order the one with the eggplant that I suggested.
Evan's got a lot. Kenny Tarmac over there's got a lot of time during
Big
training.
Big Drick energy.
Kenny and Caleb.
Kenny and Caleb Tarmac.
I don't know. I'm kind of with Aaron on this. Where I think Notre Dame's going to continue to have to grind some wins out. It's just kind of how their team's set up, how the defense, both the defense and the offense, right? How it's going to be. What are their game plans going in? I think I'm kind of in that 10-point range too. I know we've beat a dead horse, but I want to see Estimate from an offensive standpoint just continue to carry that load. And then it's going to set up play action down the field. I mean, we've seen some production from the tight ends the last couple weeks. Hartman has played solid, especially in big moments too. So I like the Irish here. I like them in that 10-point range. But I think it's not going to be one of those games where you're not going to turn the TV off early. I think that I don't think it's going to be in control until late.
This is breaking our 2-minute rule here, and I have a quick question on that. Do you think the reason they're not playing Audric Estimate 30 snaps or 30 carries is that they're trying to keep all the running backs happy and fed so they don't get frustrated? I mean, you have a room full of studs, right? In an era where people can transfer in a second.
Yeah, but
is that the reason?
But he's different. You got to play the different guy.
Yeah.
So why are they not playing him?
Probably because he packed too many meals when we went and did the podcast.
Didn't like the Mr. Fluffle shirt.
And we weren't
No,
allowed,
he totally
and we
did.
weren't allowed to air it because
Let's go back to that sound.
yeah, right. Anyways, I get it. Like, so what that comes down to, quite honestly, is the offensive coordinator has a little bit of say, but a lot of the personnel groups and the running backs coach is going to put his input on who's going to be in when they're in 11 personnel or 21 or down in distance. And the example that we talked about earlier was like, the previous drive prior to Notre Dame going and scoring, Estime wasn't in the game on first down or second down.
Nope.
But he was on third down because they brought him in because he's good in protection.
So he's a good blocker.
But what doesn't make sense is why won't you give him a carry on first or second down?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Yes, that room is loaded. They have a lot of great talent, but he still is far and above. What does he weigh?
I don't know. Like
240?
No.
240.
Yeah, I think it is like 235, 240.
Listen,
At least.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm sorry. The dude's not going to he's not going to get tired if you give him 25 carries.
He was bowling people over last time I checked, running into the end zone.
All right, we'll see if he's going to be the big drick on campus. Is that it?
Big Drick. The Big Drick. Eggplant. What a shirt.
And with that,
Late
the
night.
late night edition of the Varsity Brews Podcast. Probably not the last late night edition of
I
the
think
Varsity.
this seems pretty good idea. Right
It
here.
is. All right, share your brews. Enjoy it. Cheers, gentlemen. Have a
Cheers,
great
guys.
week.
Yeah.
Go Irish, go blue,
Go Irish, go blue.
go pack. Go pack. We'll see you on the next edition of the Varsity Brews Podcast.